Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the CC podcast. I'm Cypress,
I'm Cruelladekil. You can call me Crew.
and we're talking about DreamXD and bad guys versus good guys today.
Gonna be a good one. Gonna be a
I'm
good one.
excited.
So where do you want to start?
think
We
Possibly we start with the bad guys.
the bad guys? Okay. So
Yeah.
when you think bad guys of the Dream SMP, who comes to mind?
Schlatt.
Schlatt.
Mhm.
Okay. Is that your number one bad
I'd
guy?
say yeah.
Okay. For me, I think the other names that come to mind are, of course, Dream.
hmm
And then I think in a lot of ways, Wilbur as well.
Yeah, and then I feel
And-
like Quackity too.
Okay, interesting take. So, but I think those are like, when you think bad guys of the server, nobody's going to call Tommy a bad guy. Nobody's
No.
going to call Rambo a bad guy. So when we're thinking kind
Maybe
of
foolish.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into it, but like when you think bad guys on the server, obviously Schlatt comes to mind,
Yeah.
Dream. And then you've got, I mean, a recent development, kind of, Awesome Dude.
Oh yeah. He just like goes over your mind because like he just recently became or like
Yeah,
just like been like pulled
He's
off.
always been a tinge, like, I'm like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And I would try to, rationalize it. But recently, with the prison break and all that came from that with, when he took out Rambo without, I mean, blinking, really.
Apparently, with any reason he hasn't given at all. Like, he said it's to have Dream come back, but like,
Mhm.
Dream's not gonna care. He wanted out of prison.
and I think that's the tragic fault with Awesome Dude's character is he just wants to maintain order. He wants to think that everyone wants the best and has the same interests as him, right? Because who would want to kill Rambo, right? Nobody wants to see Rambo dead. So, but I think he overestimated Dream's conscience, for lack of a better term, potentially.
Or like his care for other people.
Yeah. And so I think that's one thing. I think right now, there's just, and then there was the whole, after that, the whole Michael situation.
Oh yeah. He,
Where
just
there was
kidnapped a
really
child for no
Yeah.
reason.
There was really not a lot of logic there. And I think Sam talked about it either on a lore stream or on another stream. I can't really remember, but there are reasons why he does what he does. And
I
it's
think
really
he did on Techno stream when they went to go
Yeah.
save Michael.
Yeah, okay, maybe that was it. But it was just like he wanted leverage.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, kidnapping a child for leverage? Like
Really, the
Huh?
way
that's not a
Chief-
good look. That is not
No,
a good look.
Especially
that is
when
not
you
a good
want people on your side.
especially since it united Tubbo with two people who had previously
Yeah.
taken canon lives from him.
And who he was enemies of.
Yeah, and so that's how much like Sam had messed up.
Yeah.
You
The fact
know.
that Tubbo and Techno teamed up is, I think, a big turning point with the whole entire SMP. Like, those two were enemies for the longest time. He killed Tubbo in front of, like, a bunch of people. Like, everybody's
here's
like, they're enemies.
Here's the difference for me. I think Sam's character is unlikable. I think Schlatt's character is inherently evil. I have my own theories on Dream we can get into. But for instance, I think Sam at least had, whether you like it or not or can justify it or not, I think what in his head had motives for like good intent behind what he was doing, like a greater good type of intent. But I mean, we can talk about Schlatt for a second. Like, what good came out of Schlatt ever? Can you name anything?
Not particularly. I don't know if it's canon or not, but he apparently is Tubbo's father. is from
Definitely not canon. Definitely
No?
not canon.
Okay.
No, and
I just
so
see it a
yeah.
lot, so I assumed it was
Yeah,
something
so
along the lines
so
of
that's
that.
a thing. Yeah, like you see like all the ram horns
Yeah.
on Tubbo's like character these days, and I think that started with that kind of theory.
Yeah.
But definitely not canon, especially if you ask Schlatt. He's not a fan of that.
He's not a fan of anything to do with the DreamXD.
Fair enough. Yeah, some of you might be banned from his chat if you're watching this.
I'm not.
Let's go. I mean, you're wearing that hoodie. You might be soon.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Okay. For audio listeners, Cypress is wearing a Dream merch on her Minecraft character right now.
I had fun making this.
I mean, I have a matching one, but anyway, like Schlatt is just a wholly unlikable villain, and that's the role that he served on the server.
He wanted to do as well. Like that's what he wanted.
Yeah. And so, I think his death is as deserving as his character. Like, not worthy of much, 100%. Like, you know,
No.
in the sense of the character.
No,
like,
and I think they just didn't know how to kill him. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't know.
Well, I mean,
think it would have been too.
Like pulling behind the curtains, they do write out like certain like plot points when they send out scripts in the Dream SMP, right? It's mostly improvised, but there are definitely certain plot points that
They want to reach at
happen.
some point.
Yeah, and so Wilbur said, and it's like Schlatt dies heart attack or Schlatt dies stroke. I can't remember.
I think it was heart attack because Schlatt was pissed.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden he was just poof, gone.
Yeah, I know.
And it felt very it was very anticlimactic at the time, but then we got into the real thing with like techno.
Yeah.
And that set into motion some other storylines, you know, freed up kind of plot like time, like airtime for other characters. And like kind of pushed, like that was I think a very interesting, like, I mean, like I said, it felt underwhelming at the time, but I think it's the way it had to happen.
Yeah, I get that.
So
it sucks that it was just that way. I feel like he could have gone out a lot crazier, like how Wilbur did.
Okay, so let's talk about Wilbur then. I think if I've done my math correctly, and I'm not good at math, to be fair, I'd wager Wilbur has done more like actionable war crimes than anyone else on the server, Dream included.
Yeah. Well, like he was the first one to blow up a nation, even though Techno is the one that's looked at as the bad guy for that.
But I think it's poignant that, in a sense, Wilbur for the blowing up, you know, like it was never meant to be moment, you know, he had his reasons and we kind of understood it, you know?
Yeah. Even
though we thought it was going to happen the entire time, we knew that was a possibility. And it's just, I really would like to explore why we like Wilbur as a character, even though he's done a lot of things that are really just not.
People forget about it, I think, and the way
he
talks
they just
is charisma, and I think he's able to pull it off as his character really well, and so people are like, yeah, he did that, but like Wilbur. I mean, he gets away with a lot, and he then starts with things, and starts a new thing. And people are like, oh my god, it's coming back. And people get scared again.
And then we see Revive Burr. Even after all, we think Wilbur's gone, which, you know, depending on who you ask on the Dream SMP, good thing, bad thing, who knows? But Revive Burr, from what we've seen, and you've read the AO3 or sat through that stream.
Not particularly, but I've seen a lot of clips from it.
Okay. So, but, I mean, it's very clear that Revive Burr is still very much the same person, fueled by pride and stubbornness and a thought that he can't be wrong.
Just being, like, egotistical overall.
Yeah, it's very egotistical. And if you're keeping up with the lore, it got Rambu a canon life out of it. Out of that hubris.
So
out of that.
Yeah.
So
that entire thing with canon lives with Rambu, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's another podcast. But it's very much Wilbur is looking out for Wilbur, and as much as he says, Tommy,
yeah,
I would never lie to you. Oh, Phil, you're my father.
Yes.
I didn't write to you, but I was doing my own
family.
thing.
Yep. I love you guys. You are great. I'm here for you always. Or I'll never do anything bad again.
Whatever iteration of Wilbur we're talking about is looking out for Wilbur. Unless we're talking about Ghostbur, who is a lovely, lovely being, and we will never say a bad thing about Ghostbur ever. But
basically, Wilbur is emotionally manipulating his way around the server to get what he wants everywhere.
And I think
he makes up a character for every person he talks to, I think.
And I think that's worse than drawing swords or arrows or, whatever kind of, at least you see it coming, in a battlefield.
It's hard and if you think about it, all of those characters have so much trauma behind them that they ignore a lot of signs that they think should be there. Like a normal person would be like, crew, I'm here, and I yes. I don't know how to do that, but he basically finds out each person's weakness, and then he goes around and he uses it to exploit it, like Tommy, saying he loves them, saying he's the best, giving Tommy the feeling that he's the center of the attention and not Wilbur, when in reality, it's actually Wilbur, and Wilbur is doing it for him in the end.
Well, you pointed out something very interesting in the sense that Wilbur picks up on people's weaknesses and exploits them. Mm-hmm. In a very manipulative way. Somebody who does it in a more overt way, as we've seen, Dream.
Yeah.
With the whole layer.
But he finds what they love, and then he uses that against them. Wilbur uses their emotions, I think.
What would you rather have? Would you rather have somebody who is emotionally manipulative? Who's worse, I guess? Not who would you rather have? Who's worse? Yeah, we're not picking favorites. We're booing everyone. This is for bottom of the tier list here. Who's the worst? Is it somebody that emotionally manipulates that you can't see coming? Or is it somebody who says, here are all the things you love and I'm going to destroy them?
I feel like you would rather want to know, wouldn't you?
So does that make Dream better?
I feel like overall, yeah. Like you could see it coming and you don't feel like, I guess, as betrayed. I don't know, they already know Dream's the bad guy. But with Wilbur, if Tommy sees what Wilbur's doing to him and figures out in the end, he's done. He's crushed.
Before I get into my left field Dream theories, I want us to go through all the things that Dream has done to mess up and cause chaos and trauma on the server. So, I mean, obviously we've got the emotional manipulation of Tommy. The exile arc is something that is from somebody. I have a creative writing degree. I could not script a better portrayal of emotional manipulation than that. It was hard. Almost scary. Yeah. And that was the point. But I think we've also got, he lied to people. He's he abandoned his friends. He's abandoned his friends now in his greed and lust for his goal, and whatever that may be. And I think it's and then he killed Tommy and Ghostbur. That's not good. We don't like that at all.
And he did say he was experimenting, and I'm like, after he released his video with DreamXD on his DreamXD channel, it's like, he's not experimenting. He already did that. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, no, he was, and I don't know we don't know what kind of trauma. We've seen it a little bit through Tommy and stuff, what dying and coming back comes like. And so Laser and Vic, I mean, as off character as that is, and kind of one-off as that is, he experimented, quote, quote, on those two for a while, it seemed like.
Yeah.
You know? With no regard for their feelings or what it would be like.
That just makes you think of what kind of person Punz is.
Interesting. Yeah. I think Punz is honestly a good guy with bad reasons. But I think it's very much, you know, coming back to Dream, you have to think about his motives. And I have a theory as to why. Hear me out. Okay, this is gonna sound crazy. As to why I think Dream is going to be the ultimate hero of the server.
I can't.
Yeah, no, hear me out. I know it sounds crazy, but a long time ago, I think maybe during the first kind of rebellion, the Schlatt death kind of era, around that time, he said his only goal, and I think, no, it was like towards like the first L'Manberg thing, you know, when L'Manberg broke off, you know, and said, you can't come in here.
Yeah.
His only goal was to unite the server. He wanted it to be a place for everyone where everyone could get along and unite and feel together. What better way to unite everyone than to give them something to hate together?
I see.
I think he's purposefully taken on a villain role to unite the server and achieve his goals. He achieves the goal of uniting the server and making everyone hate him. And he's done bad things to do it. But I think you give me a character and I can tell you something bad that they've done. There are no good people on the server. There's no bad people on the server, in my opinion. There are just people who have done worse things than others, you know?
Yeah.
It's really not a discussion of good or bad. It's a discussion of who's doing what's right for themselves and those they love or care about, you know? And so this discussion of like bad people, I would wager to say they're all bad people. They've all done bad things.
I think Wilbur's the worst, just realizing it, because I'm looking at the stuff now. But the way he's treated Fundy as well.
Yeah, his own son?
Yeah. And, like, it's canon that he's his child, so I think the way that he treats him is kind of crazy compared to, like, everybody else. Like, they all have people that they care about, and they don't treat him like that.
Like I said, like, if I had to wager, I think Wilbur's committed the most atrocities and has brought the most discord to that server. And I think Dream has done it in a sense that he's serving a purpose. Mm-hmm. If I had, I'm way, like, he's done bad things. Like, I'm not a Dream apologist. Before you type that in the comments, I'm not. But I'm just saying, what better way to bring everyone together than to give them a common goal? And that common goal is to hate and destroy one person.
Yeah.
So I think in that way, he's a hero, even if he dies a villain. And that's end of rant. That's my piece. That's my take.
I mean, it makes sense. I could see where you're coming from. I guess I never looked at it that way personally. I just always thought he was like being a pain, and he just wants everybody to get he did say when he was taking Tommy and Tubbo, he did say that he wants to get rid of everything that they love so that they don't have anything to be attached to and fight for something. So it's like he wanted to get rid of that to begin with.
Yeah. So there's nothing left to fight over. And so that's my take, but I also know you wanted to get into DreamXD ties in this a little bit in this episode. Is that still something you want to talk about?
Looking at it, we got 20 minutes. I think we can go to 25. I'm thinking, I think DreamXD is going to be a big person for this plot line. I don't know. He's getting involved in everybody's plot. Like, he's got Carl's. I know you say that George's isn't really that big, but he's always around George, and he's doing George's dreams and things like that. He's getting involved with Foolish and Sapnap.
And so, to an extent, like tangentially, BBH too.
Yeah,
Bad Boy
no,
Halo.
yeah, exactly. And I think overall, he's gonna be, I think, some big character this time turnaround, seeing where they can go with him. I think.
So continue.
Go on. I think it's gonna be crazy what they will do with him, because like I don't know if they'll bring Mumza into it or Callahan, because they're making those two more canon nowadays as well.
I'm interested into hearing your take. So in a lot of, like, obviously DreamXD is a god, you know, and so there are two types of gods in the way that I see it, right? There are benevolent, merciful gods, and then there are kind of hellfire and brimstone gods. It's either I love you unconditionally, or do what I say, or I will smite you.
Yeah.
Which one is he?
That's hard, because it depends on who he's with. If he's with, like, say, like Sapnap or Bad Boy Halo, he hates them. He'll do what, if they don't do what he says, he's going to kill them. But like recently, as a turn of events, he's being more lenient with Foolish and actually like understanding and like talking to Foolish as a person, as an equal to an extent. And then he also with George is like that's what George says.
I think you're also overlooking, like, we're not discussing Carl. He gave Carl a choice. He told Carl everything. And he said, look, I made these two realms, make a choice.
Yeah.
And he gave Carl the choice.
Not
and I
telling
think it's
him
both,
what to do.
But I think that's also, it's very much free will, right? But it's also sinister in a sense, where if Carl gets pulled down the wrong way, a more kind of enticing way, which I'm worried that he is, that may not be best for him. I think it's very much like the alluring type of deception.
I think it's more of a game. It gives him more of a game outlook on himself. He's doing. Everything's a game for him, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you bring up. I think that DreamXD is really just playing games.
So, I just wonder if people are going to take it much longer. I'm not going to lie, I could see somebody trying to retaliate somehow.
Well, how do you retaliate against a god?
I mean, Callahan is somewhat coming into this, but like,
he's still Tina's dog. Let's back up.
I mean,
let's back up.
But like, and then also Mumza coming into the picture as of recently. I know it was just a sub goal, but like,
that was a cool stream. If you haven't seen, so Philza did a stream where he let his wife Kristen, also known as Mumza, take over and be on the Dream SMP as kind of her like fan appointed character
persona
called as Mumza, who is a goddess of death, which Phil has alluded to on the Dream SMP server
many times. It's like the forest is hers and things like that.
Yeah, so it's incredibly canon, whether it's canon, if you will, you know, like the George streams. However much you want to take it, it's a very interesting turn of events, and by all accounts, she is a goddess.
Yeah.
As well, and but she was very intrigued by like drinking pina coladas next to like Las Nevadas pool. That was her goal. Like, so, I don't think she and DreamXD are on the same page.
Yeah, no, I could see them not getting too well together though.
But yeah, I think whether it's good or evil, or god or goddess, or, you know, for the good of the server, for the good of the person, I think there's a lot to talk about, and I think we've talked about a lot tonight.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see where they go with all those people.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, should we wrap up?
I think so.
Okay. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in again. If you have any topics that you would like us to discuss in future podcasts, please let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Anything else?
Yes, we forgot to do that last time, so this time, good thing we remembered.
Yes. Yeah, we're learning.
Takes us time to figure this stuff out sometimes.
Yeah, so thanks for being patient with us.
Yeah. There'll be more added to the room too, so I'm excited for that. And if you guys have any other like suggestions on like topics. Like we don't even have to talk about DreamXD all the time, but like we're free to open and talking about other things like that.
Twitch in general, games in general. Let us know. Also, if you like the things that you're seeing here, this is a resource pack made by the lovely Cypress right here.
It's not out yet, but it will be soon.
But yeah, if you want updates on that, where should they go?
Probably on here and my Discord and TikTok. Any one of those will probably have more information then.
Links in the description, guys.
Yes, for sure.
But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you for joining. My turn. Hey! Hey
Shake
guys!
Yeah, you get it. Hey guys, you shake it off. Okay. We're good now.